G'day, my name's Peter Coco. I'm here joined by Rebecca Parsons, Director of Operations from the Mill in Delaware. How's it going, Rebecca?
Going great here.
Good. Going very well here too. We'll just kick off this interview with the usual 5 questions we do every time. So, and we'll try and do it short and sharp. So here we go, and hopefully not blow it up along the way. So question 1, what does your co-working space offer freelancers, packages and all that sort of thing?
Sure. So we've got a variety of membership levels. So that starts at $60 a month. So that's folks that come in who want to bring their things in the morning and leave with them at night. It's Monday through Friday, 7 to 7. The rest of our memberships are ranging from desks to offices. They are 24/7 access to the space. We offer Wi-Fi, Ethernet ports, pantry access, which includes beer on tap 24/7, coffee, espresso, fresh brewed, all of that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it really just offers the chance for our community members to interact with each other in an open space, and then for our office and desk members to come out when they finish up work or when they're in between projects and converse with those folks and really start some awesome relationships.
Awesome. I like the beer 24/7. Sounds that could be interesting.
Surprisingly, people don't abuse it.
Oh, well, there you go.
Got a couple folks that'll have a lunch beer. And the rest of the folks wait until about 4 or 5.
There you go. We do grow up eventually, I suppose, at some point. Question 2, just what's the smallest thing you've added to your community that's had the biggest impact?
That would have to be the tread desk.
The tread desk. So
Yeah.
Can you walk me through the tread desk?
So literally you walk.
Right, okay, who'd have thought?
So we've got a room dedicated. So we have several phone booths. In our 3rd phase, we added a tread desk room. So you stand and it has a standing desk. So you're at an ergonomic level where you can walk, jog, run. I wouldn't recommend jogging or running while you're on a phone call, but some people do. I actually talked to someone yesterday and he was like, yeah, I walked on it. And then I was like, wow, this is going really slow. So he pumped it up a little bit. And about 3 minutes later, he had to step off because he done his
dash. Fair enough. Well, and I guess you could have all sorts of weird and wonderful experiences doing that. And I guess that now enables them to be a quasi co-working space and fitness centre. So this is
we put it all together for you.
Yeah, beautiful. Question 3: what's the biggest thing that you added to your community that had the smallest effect? So the other way around. So
I think we put a lot of work and time into our expansions. Completed the 4th floor in about 1.5 years. So people were expecting it. It was a lot of work on our end. And folks that come in from the outside are like, wow, you have a full floor. And we're 30,000 square feet, so we're an entire city block. Wow. Our members are just like, oh, there's our new neighbors. Cool.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? And so 30,000 square feet.
Correct.
Holy smokes! And that's one floor, or you've got
one floor. So we chose this building intentionally because it had the largest floor plate in the city.
Oh wow! Holy smokes! That's okay. There you go.
Yeah, I mean we're doing it's awesome. We're doubling in this building and tripling at another location. So.
Oh, geez. Oh, well, there you go. Things are going well in Delaware. Actually, that leads into question 4. So how do you plan to scale your business, or what are your immediate plans to scale?
So we are increasing our floor plate by 30,000 square feet by the end of the summer in this building. We're opening a floor that is more targeted towards larger companies. So the floor on the 7th floor of this building will be mostly 10 to 20 person plus companies on a longer agreement. So we're looking at 2 to 5 years instead of a month to month or a year, which is what the 4th floor is. And so we're catering to law firms, other larger companies, possibly a brokerage company. It's kind of all over the map up there. There won't be a community space like we have on the 4th floor. So it really is going to be a nice middle ground for that size company between a corporate business office and a co-working space. So they will have some shared amenities like conference rooms and pantry areas. But it's a little bit different than what we've got on 4. And then we're opening our Concord Plaza location around the same time that
Mm-hmm.
7th floor expansion will be completed. That is a very similar feel and look as the 4th floor. So we've got the community space and conference center that's open to the public. The conference rooms are available to be rented by the public.
Yep.
Community space. And then on the 2nd floor of that building, we will have all of our dedicated offices and desks.
Cool. And I guess the last question, leaving aside building out additional space, because I'd be curious to know what tricky ways you could do this. So if I was going to drop $1 million US, not that I have it, but let's hypothetically assume, what would you do to drive your business further?
I think that investing in updates to our current location,
Mm-hmm.
and then really just putting that into more spaces. A lot of time, effort, and some funds go into market research as far as how a community will receive a co-working space, population density, the type of jobs that people are doing there. You see a trend now where companies are hiring contract workers instead of employees.
Mm-hmm.
So we like to make sure that location is following that trend.
Yep.
That people would use the space. But yes, definitely expansion is what we would do.
Yeah, cool. Hey, I'll just seize on that, and we'll just go on to sort of dive in a little bit into some other aspects. So you mentioned before there's more of a trend by businesses to try to engage contractors. So in a lot of the conversations I've been having with a number of people, it's this whole gig economy thing that's happening at the moment. It's very much a case of the days of the full-time employee located in their little rabbit hutch and doing their thing. Those days are rapidly diminishing. Are you seeing that play itself out within Delaware and more sort of contracting or freelancing going on?
Yes, for
Yep.
sure.
What do you think's driving that?
I don't know. I mean, there's a possibility that employers just don't want to pay benefits.
Well, there's that too.
But it really is. I mean, you're seeing the trend with Amazon as well. Larger companies are doing this all over the place. So they're pushing employees to go start their own businesses so that they can hire them as contractors.
Okay.
And it is playing itself out in Delaware and elsewhere, to the point where we have some remote workers who their companies are based in the Midwest and they're here.
Yeah.
So it's really opening up a lot of opportunities for individuals to be where they want to be and do what they want to do, which is huge. Workplace happiness is a trend. So people in my generation are looking more towards feeling satisfied and happy in their job. So being able to work from home or work from an environment that you like, or only going to the office a few days a week, working on metrics instead of hours, things like that. There are a lot of things that companies are doing, and this plays really well into those motives.
Yeah. Okay. So then, in terms of the, and I'm just zero in more on this contracting and freelancing piece. So what sort of mix do you have? You were mentioning before you got some larger law firms and the like. What sort of mix do you reckon you'd have within the mill of contractors to more established companies?
So, as far as the more established companies go, most of them are in their startup to like 5-year range.
Okay.
So we have probably about 30 companies that are established. They have offices, or they have desks that they function a lot out, door to door, or out in the community, but they use this as their home base.
Yep.
We have about 100 community members, and I would say probably 25% of them are entrepreneurs. So they're, out doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
The rest is a mixed bag between remote workers and mostly remote workers and folks that are, representing larger agencies that are in Delaware that want to have a presence in the mill.
Yep.
So they'll have a membership here.
Okay. And have you noticed any sort of, when you're looking at these contractors or these entrepreneurs, for example, I mean, obviously they're pretty stretched because they're doing a lot of the stuff themselves. So the mill would provide them with additional sort of support. I mean, how important is that support for that particular subset? So again, these freelancers are really, they're rowing their own boat. They're having to do a whole heap of stuff. So I'm assuming that as a co-working space, would undertake certain measures to try and support them through, and what sort of benefits would be available to those people within the mill?
Sure. So we offer the opportunity for a variety of people to converse. So we have members that are interior decorators, our photographers, our videographers, our lawyers, fintech, all of that. So when you put all that into a space and you have someone come in who is willing to, stick their neck out there or talk to people, get to the environment, they're going to find people that are in a similar boat who want to help, who understand the startup mentality, which is, we're going to put a lot into this in the beginning and not get a whole lot out, but it is going to pay off in the long run.
Yep.
So a combination of that mentality, and then also you have the established companies who really genuinely have the budget to afford a high-end marketing company or web designer. And so we have those companies here as well. So you've got a really awesome mix of established folks and green folks that can, come together and figure out a way that works for everyone. Yep. We have someone who moved in here in January, and very quickly we introduced them to an inbound marketing company who built out their plan, their site. And so it's really nice to see that we've had an influx of folks like that come in. We do kind of go through waves. So you've got folks that don't, really converse with anyone, and see them quickly figure out that this isn't their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And they will actually kind of weed themselves out. And then you have the people that really embrace it, and that they're going to be long-term tenants.
Yeah. Okay. Just sort of following that a little bit further, the willingness to be able to provide or to offer that, it's almost mentoring, really, from your established sort of people. You'd find people within your co-working location that would mentor other greener sort of people within that environment. How do you as an organisation sort of foster that and push that forward? Because I would think that goes to the heart of community within the mill.
Definitely. We've got a few members that are exceptionally welcoming.
Yep.
And they are here a lot of the time. So we've got folks like Jamie McGee, who is on the Urban Bike Project, which is in the city. He bikes to work every day. So immediately when if I'm giving a tour and I hear someone say, well, is there a bike room? Can I ride my bike? I immediately introduce them to Jamie.
Yep.
An automatic selling point. And then you've started this relationship, and because he converses with everyone that he meets, he kind of fosters those connections as well, more on a grassroots level. So we as the mill are mainly a space provider. So we're not an incubator. We're not an accelerator. So we don't have the planned curriculum for startups. But I've found that organic conversation leads to a lot of success for incoming companies.
Yeah.
We've got Ed Wyrock, who will write an article about you and get it to us so that we can push it out to the community as well. Yeah. So, he's got a history in radio and interview and PR. So he's great at taking the conversations that Jamie has and getting them out on paper. And so between the two of them, as far as letting our members know who's here and making our members feel that they're heard, we've got that covered. We actually just had Chris Benson from the Air Force come in yesterday as well. He had reached out to propose some early funding for startups. Right. So we offer that as well, and our members are welcome to attend those. Typically free. Just want to get the information out there. So, if one of those members, Ed or Jamie or someone else that sits out in the community, garners the support and then the crowd to go, people typically attend.
Yeah, awesome. And I guess in terms of the co-working space itself. So in a lot of the conversations I've had, and I've spoken to co-working spaces in the US and Europe and over in Asia and Australia, it seems to be different areas of the world are experiencing different sort of periods in their cycles. I know that in certain markets like the UK, for example, it's becoming a bit tough for a number of players there. I mean, is there having such a narrow focus as a co-working space on rental return is obviously can be risky. Is there something that you guys do to try to diversify your income or anything along those sort of lines? Or would you share any of those sort of ideas with the audience?
Sure. So we are developing and have developed a web-based app for membership management and conference room booking, event space booking. So it takes a lot of the hassle and the small details away from the physical staff here, which frees us to communicate with the community. So our API that we've developed over 3 years now was launched about 2 years ago for our space, and we've been tweaking it, adding things, perfecting it, and we hope to be able to share that with other co-working spaces. And we've found that a lot of co-working spaces are looking for a software like this, and you have a decent number of companies who have attempted to build this, but they're just that, they're companies, they're not co-working spaces. So to have this developed with and in tandem with this staff and these members and the public in Delaware, it's really honing in on exactly what people want.
Yeah, okay. I suppose having the insights, and you're right, there is a big difference between the co-working business and a standard company, because you've got uniformity of your staff, just even to start with, or the people within your organisation with the company. So to roll something out that's reasonably cookie cutter, straightforward, whereas with a co-working space, you're going to have a lot of idiosyncrasies and certain things that you need to tweak within that sort of an app to be able to make it appropriate. So they push for the mill to tweak that, get that to the point of being able to publicly push it out. That's the intention.
Yes, 100%. And we're at that point now where we could issue it to a co-working space with periodic updates.
Yeah, okay. Right. So more like it would end up being like a software as a service, SaaS style model. Okay, great. And are there any other sort of initiatives that you guys are sort of working on just to get the creative juices flowing for other co-working owners?
Well, we definitely are pushing our conference rooms and event space. So we're currently a maximum capacity as far as our offices and desks. So we're turning our attention to what we can do to promote the event space and the conference rooms, because having those available to the public is beneficial for several reasons. People in here that have never been in here before, and having, if one person holds their meeting here and they're bringing 19 other people, they're doing the legwork to get the people in here because it's their meeting. Those other people may see this and be inspired to branch off or become an entrepreneur and start something and use the mill to get that going. So conference rooms are huge. And the event space, I mean, we've had anything from a 4-year-old's birthday party to a 30-year-old's birthday party to ribbon cuttings to wedding rehearsal dinners. It's across the board. So the space is versatile, and we want to relay that to the public so that we're able to, once we hit this cap with our offices and desks, we're still able to grow the business. Yeah,
okay. And again, diversify your income and sort of insulate yourself a little bit too. Okay. One last question, if I can, and then I'll let you roam free. So just in terms of if you had to sum up one piece of advice for other co-working spaces or other co-working space owners, what would that be?
I would say embrace your community. Find the people in the community that are go-getters, that are networkers, that are talkers. Embrace them. I have found that it is difficult because we are not a traditional company. We can't mandate fun. So you really need folks in the community to kind of handhold and get people involved. So really working on those relationships before you try and push any kind of, seminar series or anything that's hosted by the co-working space, really ensuring that your community is open to that. Otherwise, I mean, you end up wasting time and money. And
No,
you don't,
that's right.
so yeah, doing that legwork with your community is huge.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much for that, Rebecca. That was a great little interview, and we might rule it off there, but thanks for your time.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.